And thanks for Bernstein Center to found this project. And I'm very glad to be here to present my project, Imperfect Data Processing and the Stock Market Liberalization in China. And in this talk, I'll do it in two parts. First is about the theoretical importance of the information channel when the emerging economies liberalize their capital markets. And the second part, I will speak directly to the specific case of China. So the old wisdom tells us that stock markets reevaluate when emerging economies liberalize, because there are two channels. The first one reduces the cost of capital, and the second one increases the risk sharing among worldwide investors. But there's a new insight, which is the information channel, and it's becoming more and more important. This channel speaks to price informativeness, market stability, and finally firm investment and also production. And this paper is the first one to quantify the information channel. And the method I used could be generalized to analyze the case of other countries. But for the case of China, it's estimated as 1/6 of the price evaluation, which is remarkably large compared to the, for example, the cost of capital channel is only about 1/5. So this number is actually 1/6 number is actually really large. So the trick here is to differentiate data with information. So data is the numbers we can see from an annual report, whatever quantities and characters which operations are performed by, for example, by a computer, some agents in the market. But information is an abstract concept. It's what we get by processing the information, processing the data. It is the information that we can use directly to guide our investment. So there have been empirical papers looking at data advantage and process advantage separately. So in domestic investors, they are said to have data advantage because they understand local culture and institution better. And they also have intransferable data. These types of includes like information, relational data with the local banks, for example, and underwriters. However, for the information side, foreign investors, they are normally more experienced and are not subject to misleading domestic opinion on the macros of the local country. So to abstract from these two advantages, I formalize these two imperfections. So the first one is technological restriction. So the domestic institutional investors, they have a higher variance in their price signals. Why there's a data restriction placed on the foreign institutional investors, because they can only acquire data from a transferable source. So there's a conflict of that the agents who are with the best available data do not own the best available technology. And it's interesting to see what will happen. So generally, price informativeness increases when the size of the institutional investors increases. So this is generally the case when the emerging markets opens to the world. And if price informativeness is high with capital market opening, if data are sufficiently informative. However, the results on a market volatility is more mixed. So because of the time restriction, I'm going to talk about China's case. So China case itself is very important because it has a very large market, and it's very, very different than the US stock market. It's very interesting to see, let's see, what will happen when the Chinese market further opens. So what we have now is the 2014 and 2016 storm connects. So it has huge market impact here. You can see from the 2014. However, China is still on its way to further open its capital markets. So what will happen is, first, local branch of foreign institutions will acquire local data, and the local institutions implement perfect data processing. And of course, we will have increased capital inflow to China. So if we double the current capital flow, I can forecast the price informativeness will further increases at about 11%, while the volatility goes down, which is very remarkable, at about 23%.